Hey there guys, and welcome back to today's video. Now, I'm going to start this one off by thanking everyone for their support with the channel. We finally hit 100 subs, which in the grand scheme of things may seem small, but it's a big milestone for myself. So if you haven't already, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. But without further ado, let's move on to the video. So today we're doing a guide on the new dungeon feature and my observations on the mechanics of the randomly generated crawl. So to start off, the mission takes place in two versions. The first of the two is by far the easiest, with less trials to pass in order to complete, as well as less rewards. That being said, they follow almost an identical format and have the same basic mechanics. The dungeon itself is divided up into a number of rooms. The map can be seen on the pod screen so that you can figure out which room you're in. Inside each room are random quote-unquote layouts. There's also different enemies and traps, as well as valuable loot. Your mission is to work your way through these rooms and locate the bosses, defeat them, and claim your prizes. Now, most of the rooms are fairly self-explanatory. Enter the room and kill the enemies and traverse the layout of the room. On occasion you get those large stationary cannons and they'll fire down corridors in order to block your path, but they're easy enough to destroy. Now after you've destroyed all enemies in the area, the next room will open up. Now the first one of these rooms we'll discuss begins with a closed door. I say closed, it's closed for an arsenal, but an outer can go through it. Now, once you dismount and head inside the room, at the opposite side there is a console to open the door. However, there's a variety of enemies that can spawn in the room, from small AIs, called scarecrows, larger AI cannons, and sometimes enemy arsenals. These tend to be the beta variants. Now, I find the easiest thing to do is to take out the small enemies and then board your arsenal in progress. However, if there is an arsenal there, your best bet is go over to the other side, activate the thing, board your arsenal, and kick his ass. The next room has a familiar sight in it, that of stone gargoyles. Now when you come across this room, your mission is to destroy the gargoyles, 10 in all, inside one of the rooms, and inside one of them lies loot. It's usually in the form of a weapon. There's not much else to say about this room, it's pretty much just free loot. Now, another free loot room involves weapon racks. Now, the rewards for this are varied. I've only encountered it once at this point, and the rewards were pretty piss poor, but I can imagine you can get just about anything that you could get off the enemies in the areas. It's only weapons though, mind you. Next we come across the rooms with a green glow. These rooms sadly have an ill effect upon entering them, and basically staying inside the room for a little amount of time. You begin to lose health, all due to you getting the acid debuff. So, in this situation, the best course of action is either to kill enemies from afar, from outside the room, or to rush in, blast them really close range, and then get the hell out as quickly as possible. It's really difficult with close to mid-range fighting, but, you know, it isn't as quick as you might imagine. It's not an instantaneous thing that as you enter the room. It does take about 5 seconds for the debuff to hit. The next room type is the red room. Inside these rooms your stamina will be completely drained, stopping you from flying and boosting. As a result, in order to reach any loot, and sometimes enemies, you'll need to leap up platforms, and sometimes across acid. Now we have the actual acid floor rooms. These can appear in tandem with the red rooms. As of yet, I haven't seen a green acid room, but I won't pretend it isn't possible. In these rooms, if you touch the green liquid on the floor, your fate's sealed. You die. Normally these rooms are accompanied by a lot of loot. When the room isn't red, it's a simple case of killing the AI and flying to your prize. However, the red variation of these rooms require a higher level of jumping. So having attachments on your legs or better jumping legs is vital, as the loot can be very high up. And if you can't jump, you might not make to the next platform. Next we have a room that at first glance seems pretty damn simple. It can appear in multiple locations. Sometimes it's AIs, sometimes it's something else. Kill the AIs, move on, whatnot. However, you'll notice that there is 2 downed arsenals on radar, but they're nowhere to be seen. So what you do is you look up, the bulkhead above is destroyable. You can fly up there and collect the loot. Now we come to a room that looks empty as they come, but upon further inspection you will find the walls, floor and ceiling a number of scannable graffiti. Basically this room allows you to gather the many graffitis found in missions that at times can be a right pain in the arse to locate. This is a damn sign easier than doing it that way. The final room is the end result of the dungeon. It's the boss room. In the first mission, 1 arsenal bars your way. In the second, there are 3. Each of these enemies take on the traits of outers that you've faced in the past, from Grief to Brigadier General. They have increased HP and damage and different weapons. Now, as a result, they are weak in the same way that their counterparts are. Grief, for example, uses way too much stamina and ends up unable to flee. Solomon rushes in recklessly, and when you're in a group, they are a pretty simple task to deal with. Focus 1 arsenal and watch it explode. Solo, however, you will need to work out a smarter and more efficient strategy. Mine's is to separate them and take them out one by one. Now, the environment can be used to your advantage in this case. Rooms with an acid floor will kill anything that touches it, and enemy AIs cannot jump. So a red acid room is a fatal weakness. Lure them to the acid and you'll find the likes of Solomon, who rushes in, will not last long. However, their loot can't be recovered. So red rooms in general will drain their stamina, so if you have a bulkier arsenal, your foes aren't going to stand much of a chance against you. Now, arc guns are especially good in the boss fight, especially those that hit multiple targets at the one time, and that just makes it generally effective against multiple enemies. Now, the loot in the dungeon includes pretty much everything on the loot table that you can normally find against Stries. However, this can include M variants of the base weapons. These have fancy skins and improved stats. There's also a chance of finding Arendite and Danslif. I have already found a free slotted Arendite, and I'm fairly certain there's plenty of people that have commented on Danslif. Next, we have the attachments. They can all go up to MK5 now, alongside a new type of attachment that allows you to increase the slots on blueprint items to 3. Finally, there's a bunch of new weapons to find. A new one for each weapon class, though I haven't found them all by myself yet, and it will take some time to figure out how well these weapons work in general. But so far, the new melee sword has proven to be quite deadly. So that's basically all there is to dungeons. It's an interesting mechanic in the game at the moment, and there are still issues with it, however. Currently, I believe a lot of people are dealing with infinite loading screens, where you have to basically just exit the game. I don't know what's causing it. I think it's maybe region based, if your connection with another person isn't too great. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video, and I hope you were at least informed or entertained, and catch us next time for another video. But before you go, make sure to hit the like, comment and subscribe button. And again, thank you all for the support in the past couple of months, and hopefully we continue to grow the channel and get more people in and share Daemon X Machina and other games with other people. So have a very good Christmas, guys, and catch me next time. See you later.